Welcome to Z's and 3.
For three for the win. Yes!
As the NBA world has been turned upside down and shaken like a snow globe, we try to make sense of it all. Or is it sense of it all? As we struggle for reasoning, the show must go on. Luka awkwardly throws up the LA upon landing in California. You gotta connect them, bro. That's the A. Instagram farewell posts are made. Fake funerals are had. Tribute videos. Let's also keep in mind that it's just sports, folks. But hey, that's our reprieve in this world of chaos. Thankfully, some great on-court action Monday night to bring us back to basketball. A 10-game slate, game that goes to no overtime, a couple of tight ones. Devin Booker making Suns history. Let's catch you up on it all, but before we do, if you like the show, please do like and subscribe. Share with a friend to stay in the NBA know. Let's get it. Group chat game of the night. I was challenged by a show subscriber to do a G-Unit theme, and it worked out because the group chat game of the night was in the Big Apple. New York City, Rockets, Knicks, 3 in the West against 3 in the East. The Knicks coming off a 128-112 loss to the Lakers in what would be Anthony Davis's final game for the franchise, at least for now. Snapped a 5-game win streak for the Knicks. The Rockets, consecutive losses, puzzling. At the Grizzlies, that was a tight one that they lost down the stretch. And then against the Nets. Scheduling for the Rockets, it makes no sense. They played in Memphis on Thursday. They go back to Houston to play Brooklyn. Then they fly back to New York to play the Knicks. Their next game will be tomorrow night in Brooklyn against the Nets again. The Rockets in the midst of an 8-9 games on the road. The lone home game was the one in Houston against the Nets. You should have just stayed on the road for all 9. Makes no sense. This was a good game. Houston, first and foremost, I think they are the team most likely to, in one game, fight the other team and also fight one another. It was scrappy. Amen Thompson had a shift shake and slam on Precious Achiuwa to close the third quarter, put the Rockets at an 11-point advantage. The Knicks were 0-8, trailing going into the fourth quarter in games. Okay, what would that mean? Group chat game of the night. Should have got good? Yes, the Knicks tied the game up with 3:38 left. The teams would trade buckets back and forth to the 1-minute mark, neither up by more than 1 point. Jalen Brunson, huge night for him, made 3 with 60 seconds left, put the Knicks up 118-114. Dylan Brooks makes 2 free throws. Amen Thompson, another magnificent performance. He forced an instant replay review on a New York challenge after he pokes the ball away at half court from Jalen Brunson. It's unsuccessful, the challenge by New York. Houston retains possession. Houston, yes. Thompson, accordingly, is then stripped by Brunson on the Rockets' offensive end. Houston has to foul. Brunson makes both free throws. Knicks go up by 4. Jalen Green comes down, misses a 3. Jump balls tipped out of bounds by Houston. The Knicks ice it at the line. As mentioned, they were 0-8, trailing going into the fourth. Finally, a comeback win, 124-118, a 46-29 fourth period. 42, 6, and 10 from Jalen. Seriously, what are the Mavericks doing? Brunson. Mentioned huge game for Amen Thompson, 25, 11, and 11. Wanted to bring him up because is he worthy of being in the most improved player conversation? He continues at this rate that we've seen over the last 5-10 games. He is making a superstar level jump. 9 games to get to rest of the slate. Let's start with some shine for streaking losers. First being the Blazers that have really gotten it together, hosting the Suns for the second of 2 games. They are winners of their last 3. Portland. It was a Saturday night affair in which Portland won 127-108. 24 points from DeAndre Ayton. He was big in this game tonight as well. Teams took a day off. Devin Booker, halfway through the third quarter, would become the Suns' all-time leading scorer in franchise history, passes Walter Davis. Pretty crazy that Book's been playing that long. He is the Suns' all-time leading scorer. Now, would he get a win? 104-103 Suns, 60 seconds left. Anthony Simons has a step back deep top of the key 2 over Kevin Durant to give Portland the lead by 1. 42 seconds left. Durant misses, trying to go 2 for 1. Blazers have a chance to build their lead. It's a broken play that leads to a Jeremy Grant dunk. Blazers up 3, chance to ice the game. They've lapsed defensively on the other end. Royce O'Neal smashes a three. Tie game, 1.7 seconds left. Simons gets blocked. We go to overtime. Let's fast forward. 5.9 left in OT. Blazers up 3 after a couple of huge offensive rebounds. They foul Bradley Beal, who goes to the line, makes both. The Blazers get the ball in to their worst free throw shooter, DeAndre Ayton. Ooh, poetic. He steps to the line confidently, drains both. 3-point lead. 5.5 seconds left. Okay, Blazers, just don't foul. Don't give up the three. A masterclass in late game failure. Danny Advia fouls Booker on a corner three. Booker, on the season, an 89% free throw shooter. Career 87% free throw shooter. This is a historic night for him. This is a chance for him to bookend becoming, no pun intended, the leading scorer in his franchise's history with a win. He makes the first two, misses the third. DeAndre Ayton, poetically able to seal it at the line. A huge night, 25 points, 20 rebounds. The Blazers are tied for the longest win streak in the league at 4 games. Wizards, Hornets. Wizards, they snapped their 16-game losing streak Saturday night, a win at the Wolves. They had only won back-to-back games once prior to tonight this season. That was back on October 28th and 30th, games 3 and 4 of the season, both against the Atlanta Hawks. Tonight they got it done. This was the one I had circled that I thought that they could snap the streak. They did it earlier in the weekend. Led by 25 in the first half at Charlotte, it finished 124-114. 26 from Bilal Coulibaly, 25 from Corey Kispert, 22 from Kyle Kuzma. Drama in Motown. Hawks, Pistons, the longest losing streak now in the league belonged to the Atlanta Hawks, coming in having lost 8 in a row. They would fix that with a Trae Young game winner on Malik Beasley. The game had 16 lead changes, 14 ties. The Hawks led by 14, the Pistons by 6 at one point, but it was back and forth in the fourth quarter between the All-Star Cade Cunningham and the All-Star snub Trae Young. 12 for Cade in the fourth, 17 though for Young. The Pistons nearly come back from 12 down. They are usually the ones blowing the fourth quarter leads, but the Hawks prevail 132-130. All right, let's switch it up to the West Best. The Thunder hosting the Bucks. For the Bucks, no Giannis, no Lillard, no Middleton, no Lopez, no Portis. How would that go? Well, how do you think? 78-44, the Thunder at half. Oklahoma City would be up 44 points at one point. It finished 125-96. They led wire to wire. 34 points on 15 of 19 shooting for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. The Thunder, their 31st win of 10 or more points on the season. Kings-Wolves. Kings' first game of the post-De'Aaron Fox era. It was a 106-103 affair with 109 left. In favor of the Kings, Malik Monk had a lay-in that gave the Kings a 5-point lead. Naz Reid, back on the other end, a make and one. 47.4 left. Sacramento, a 2-point lead. DeMar DeRozan blows by McDaniels and Gobert, the two best defenders for the Wolves, for a lay-in. Big-time night for DeRozan. 9 points in the fourth, 33 total in the game. Rudy Gobert would have an alley-oop dunk that would trim it to 2, but Malik Monk makes 2 free throws, put his team back up 4. Mike Conley drills a corner 3 on some good ball rotation. Monk is fouled again, makes both. The Wolves use their last timeout, so they're down 3 at this point. Jaden McDaniels seems to lose the ball out of bounds off of Malik Monk's defense. They have to go to instant replay for the challenge. Kings ball. Sabonis free throws ends the affair. Anthony Edwards has a splash 3 at the end that may have affected some bettors. 116-114 Kings victorious. They end their 6-game road trip with a win, going 2 for 4 on that trip. They await the arrival of Zach LaVine. Spurs Grizzlies, well, the Spurs await the arrival of De'Aaron Fox. Let me give you some insight into the life of a G Leaguer. You didn't get Aziz and threes yesterday because I was basketball overloaded. After the weekend that was, I called the Spurs G League game on Sunday afternoon and then get home and, there's a De'Aaron Fox trade as well. I was NBA'd out, needed a break to collect my thoughts. Let me tell you what happened during that game. Sidy Cissoko, plays for the Austin Spurs, scored 19 points. It was a 118-113 victory over the Heat's G League affiliate, the Skyforce. During that game, Sidy Cissoko was being traded to the Kings to help acquire De'Aaron Fox. So he finds out after the game, well, you're on the move, one of the two-way players. The other two-way players in the game, David Duke Jr. and Harrison Ingram, both played 30-plus minutes for the Spurs in their win here in Austin. Then, either last night or today, have to hop on the plane to join the big club in Memphis. The Spurs on their rodeo road trip where they have to vacate their home arena for over 3 weeks. They're on the road starting in Memphis. And these two G Leaguers, having played yesterday 30-plus minutes in Austin in the G League game, find themselves in this game late with the Spurs down big. Memphis led by 21 at the most, finished 128-109. 31-6-3-3 from Jaren Jackson Jr. He continues, in my opinion, to make his All-NBA case, maybe third team. 25 points from Ja, 27 from GG Jackson. Everybody wants to know why Memphis is so good. Well, to dovetail the story, a big reason, it is their G League program, the Memphis Hustle, of which GG Jackson is a product. Pacers, Jazz. Jazz were up 1 with 60 seconds left after being up 15 earlier and up 12 with 6:53 left, but a Tyrese Halliburton 3 would put the Pacers up 2. Wild lead swing alert. The Utah announce crew, bottom 3 in the league. Once we get closer to the end of the season, I'm going to do my full announcer crew rankings, but their energy level every night is abysmal. They've had some close games that they do. It's Craig Bolerjack and Thurston Bailey. They're bad. 20 seconds left. It was a masterclass in fail. Lauri Markkanen goes to the line for 2, misses the first, and then a Utah lane violation on the second. Shot clock's off. The Jazz don't foul until 11 seconds left. This is being down 1. The Pacers then salt it at the line. Another junk 3 from Keontae George probably influenced some betting lines. 112-111 Pacers. It's their 4th win in a row. They are tied with the Cavs and the Blazers for the longest win streak in the league. 22 from Pascal Siakam. The Blazers firmly 4th in the East, a game and a half ahead of Milwaukee. 4th in the East, 4th in the West. The Denver Nuggets hosting the New Orleans Pelicans. The Nuggets, the second easiest schedule in the month of February. That is determined by the cumulative opponent win percentage. That's the metric. It's John Hollinger. He does it on NBA.com. So the Nuggets trying to stack some wins in the competitive West. Outside of the opening buckets, the Nuggets would control this one all the way through. 125-113 victory. Season high 36 points with 7 made threes from Michael Porter Jr. Big news on him after the game, as Nuggets head coach declaring post-game that they would not be trading Michael Porter Jr. Nikola Jokic, another league-leading triple-double, 27, 14, and 10. 3 wins in a row for Denver. 6 straight losses for New Orleans. Teams meet again Wednesday night in the Mile High City. Final game of the night, Magic Warriors. Orlando desperately needing a victory. Losers of their last 3, they're 2-8 over their last 10. Their offense is abysmal. It was a Moses Moody corner 3 with 67 seconds left that gave the Warriors a 5-point lead. They get a stop on the other end. Draymond Green on Paolo Banchero. Draymond Green back on the floor. Curry free throws make it 7, enough to shut it down. It ends 104-99. The Magic have been held to under 100 points for 3 consecutive games. Warriors, Suns, and Kings all now 25-24, fighting for those last 2 play-in spots in the West. Heavy Pour leading score of the night, presented by Portland Water. Visit them at drinkpdxwater.com. Their logos are now down there, courtside. That one was good. It was Jalen Brunson who was good a lot tonight. 42 points, his 3rd highest scoring effort of the season. Dunk of the night. You want to sponsor that? Holler at me. Emails down below. Dunk contest entrant Steph Castle had a nice bang out. He will get my dunk of the night. But Ben Shepherd for the Indiana Pacers had a nice dunk as well on an alley-oop. Performance of the night, I'm going with DeAndre Ayton. kind of a forgotten man in the NBA. Part of that Suns team that went to the finals. A highly regarded big man. Well, against his former team in back-to-back games, 25-20 tonight, 24-7 Saturday. And here's the stat of the night for you. Been sitting on this one a couple days. Since the ABA-NBA merger, only 4 players have made 5 first-team All-NBAs in their first 6 seasons in the league. Larry Bird, George Gervin, Tim Duncan, and Luka Doncic. Wow. Conference Players of the Week announced for Week 15 in the West. LeBron James, 40 years old and all. Saturday night, the big win at New York in the Garden. His team going 3-1, 27.5 points per game, 7.3 rebounds, 10 assists. What happens with LeBron for this new Luka era for the Lakers? Interesting. Also, who's going to play defense for the Lakers? In the Eastern Conference, Donovan Mitchell. Team goes a perfect 4-0. Mitchell, 22.8 points, 6 assists. Does it with a 53.3 clip from the field. Those are your Week 15 Conference Players of the Week. Conference Players of the Month, not announced yet, so we will get to those when they come out. But Coaches of the Month have been. In the West, Ime Udoka of the Houston Rockets, his team going 11-4. And in the Eastern Conference, Rick Carlisle, his team going 10-2 across the month of January. Injuries, DeJounte Murray, Friday night, in the loss against the Celtics, a torn Achilles, out for the rest of the year. Another substantial injury for Murray. I absolutely hate it for him. He has had terrible injury luck. The Pelicans have had terrible injury luck this season. Finally, unless you live under a rock, there were 2 major trades that happened over the weekend, late Saturday night. The seismic shift, the Mavs trading Luka Doncic to the Lakers for Anthony Davis and a first-round pick, essentially. There's some other filler in there, but that was the trade. And a 3-team trade Sunday early evening that moved De'Aaron Fox, the inevitable, out of Sacramento to the Spurs. Zach LaVine moving from the Chicago Bulls to the Kings, and the Spurs sending Zach Collins and some other filler to make it all go. Those the 2 big trades that we have seen thus far. Trade deadline is Thursday. Maybe we'll go live on Thursday as we approach the trade deadline. Do you think that there will be some other major moves happening? I'm working on a salary cap, first apron, second apron explainer, because if you go back to my video that I dropped the night of the Luka Doncic Anthony Davis trade, I think a lot of people, and I will get into this in house shoes as well, are trying to make sense of this trade with the S-E-N-S-E sense. But this trade is all about sense. C-E-N-T-S. House shoes. Kickscam has the night off, so there you have it. New Balance 990 V4s. Saturday night was one of the most interesting nights I have spent as somebody that covers the NBA and a fan of the NBA, because watching everyone in real time trying to process the Luka Doncic trade for Anthony Davis was interesting, along with trying to process it myself. I'm not a Dallas Mavericks fan. I'm not an LA Lakers fan either. So my franchise wasn't affected. I do live in Central Texas. I live in Austin, and I have friends that are Mavericks fans. So watching the group chats, this is the first time that the group chat has been invigorated, first and foremost. The NBA got a much needed PR boost. So do with that what you will. Plenty of conspiracy theorists out there on Reddit, on X, on Threads, whatever you use. But it was interesting, to say the least, to watch people try to work through it. First off, I have never seen, across all my years watching, covering sport, a franchise nuke their goodwill in a way that the Dallas Mavericks did in trading Luka. It was one of a kind. And then the reporting today that the Mavericks have been surprised by the backlash? To watch the press conference, which I haven't even fully watched yet because I was busy on Sunday, that Nico Harrison, the GM, and Jason Kidd looked like he was being held hostage. But I stand by my take because everybody's trying to figure out basketball-wise, why would you do this? Why would you do this? Luka, Luka is struggling with Wade and the Mavericks are having trouble getting through to him. The Mavericks don't want to work with his trainer, yada, yada, yada. No, I stand by my take. Go back and watch the video from Saturday night, early Sunday morning. This trade is all about money. And it's all about money because this is the new paradigm in the NBA. It is, do you want to commit long-term supermax money to players? The Sacramento Kings did not necessarily want to commit supermax money to De'Aaron Fox, and De'Aaron Fox did not want to commit to being in Sacramento. The Chicago Bulls have toiled with Zach LaVine for how many years? That money no longer worked for them. The Bulls got back a first-round pick that was theirs. How the Bulls won that trade was they got LaVine's money off their books. Like I said earlier, I'm working on a CBA explainer because so many people are trying to figure out why would the Dallas Mavericks do this. And from a basketball sense, there is no why. Stop trying to figure it out. The Mavs may be okay. And if the Mavs were to somehow win the title this year with Anthony Davis, would it appease the fan base? I don't know. They were throwing fake funerals in Dallas around Victory Park, carrying caskets for Luka Doncic. There are people in Dallas that may never be Mavs fans again. You have to ask them. I'm not a Mavs fan. But what they have done, the Mavericks, is say, we're not committing to this long term. And what we are committed to is operating within the rules to make sure that our franchise continues to have flexibility when it comes to roster management. But first and foremost, profitability and flexibility when it comes to business. Because make no mistake, that's what these franchises are. They are money-making businesses. And that's what these players are. They've signed up for it. And the loyalty no longer goes either way. Franchises aren't loyal to players, nor are players loyal to franchises. So who gets caught in the middle? The fan. The fan is the one that suffers because you tie your identity to a franchise or a player that now can be uprooted. And like I started the show, I said the NBA world has been taken like a snow globe and shaken. And everybody's trying to make sense of it all. But really, it's just to make sense. But does that mean that we can't enjoy the games? Absolutely not, because there's great product on the court. What to watch Tuesday night, 7 games. It is the third of 4 meetings between the East's 2 best, the Celtics and the Cavs. I love what Joe Mazzulla said when reporters wanted to ask him about the trade. He said, no, I'm focused on my team. That's where you should be. Teams have split the season series thus far. The Cavs winning the last meeting, 115-111. It was a 3-point affair. So you do not want to miss the nationally televised third meeting between the East's 2 best. Mavs Sixers will not see the debut of Anthony Davis. Lakers Clippers, there will be no Luka as well. But hey, Knicks Raptors may have a little bit of juice. The Raptors are playing good. The Knicks are on a back-to-back. RJ Barrett going against his old team. If you miss any of that action, well, your boy here, Tyler D at Z's and Threes, has always got you. All that I ask is if you like the show, please do like, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening on podcast, share with a friend. We will see you tomorrow. Peace.